It is 10 o'clock. Welcome in. It's three-man front. We are live at Social Taco. Pat Smith, Landrum Roberts live on the scene. Come on up and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Conrad and Molly back in our studios high atop Red Mountain. Hope everyone's having a great start to your Tuesday. We have got a jam-packed show for you today. Mike Griffith is going to join the program in just a couple minutes, get his thoughts on the big win against the Ole Miss Rebels. Dwier Brown, if that name does not sound familiar to you, he played Kevin Costner's father in Field of Dreams. He's going to be in Birmingham coming up on Sunday, in which will be the home run derby at Rickwood Field. So we'll talk to Dwier Brown about his career and him being in Birmingham for this wonderful home run derby at Rickwood Field. 11 o'clock, we'll go to the state of Arkansas. Eric G., program director, 92.9 The Ticket, also on air host there. Sports Talk Station. We'll get a preview of Arkansas and Auburn. Good friend of ours, Scott Hamilton from the Charleston Post-Courier. He actually was the first person on the interwebs to break the story that Billy Napier was going to be fired. Scott Hamilton will join us. He is as connected as anyone. He'll be on the program. Keith Niebuhr, we was going to catch up with him yesterday from Gators Online about Billy Napier, and he got called into that press conference with Scott Strickland. So he'll join us today. And as always, Dimitri Ravenos will join the program at 1 o'clock. How are you doing this morning, partner? You and I were outside just a couple minutes ago. It's kind of a nice temperature day, but a little windy.
It is starting to feel like fall. We're going to have overcast skies. Hopefully the rain stays out. And we're at Social Taco, which is always a fun time on Tuesdays for the mix and match tacos. And, of course, the half-off happy hour Monday through Friday. But I am well. Just trying to sort through a lot of information this time of year.
Yes, there's a lot. I mean, and my goodness gracious, had 2 NFL games last night. You had the American League Championship Series. The Canadians find their way to the World Series again for the third time as the Blue Jays. George Springer. You know, I did not. Did you realize where George Springer played college ball?
No.
Did you, Conrad? Do you know where he played college ball?
I don't know. Probably somewhere Evils because he's a cheater.
Just give us an idea. Is it Power 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
It's kind of a trick question there.
Like
Okay.
in baseball, it would be Power 5, but not in football, perhaps?
Yeah, it's not a Power 5 in football. It's an independent in football.
Okay.
BYU. I don't know. Well, no, they're in the Big 12 now.
Played at
He
Connecticut?
played center field at UConn.
Wow.
I had no idea until I saw a clip of him yesterday. I don't know where I thought he played, but it definitely was not UConn.
Well, if you would have asked me if UConn had a baseball team, I would have guessed yes, but not been totally sure.
Yeah, so George Springer hits the go-ahead 3-run homer in the 7th inning last night. Blue Jays win their first pennant since 1993, and you just feel for Seattle fans, man. So it was interesting because the Monday Night Football game, the nightcap in Seattle between the Texans and the Seahawks, everyone there at Lemon Field, they were watching the Mariners as they were playing in the American League Championship Series, and Springer hits the go-ahead in the 7th inning, and the Mariners continue to be the only franchise in Major League Baseball to not ever appear in the
Man, that's
World
tough.
Series.
That's really tough for their fan base. Yeah, last night brought back horrible memories for Braves fans.
Joe Carter.
Yes.
How about this? The Blue Jays' victory also put 64-year-old bench coach Don Mattingly into his first-ever World Series.
Good for Donnie Baseball.
Now, how about that? I mean, because when you and I were growing up, Don Mattingly was, as you mentioned, Donnie Baseball.
Oh man, I had his rookie card that was in a plaque, and it was framed there on my wall. I told you my uncle when he was there in what was it, Evansville,
Indiana.
Yeah.
That's where he's from. Yep.
They actually, when Mattingly was a teenager, he worked for my uncle.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Small world.
Kind of a loose relationship, but that's how I was introduced to Don Mattingly, and I've been a big fan ever since. So good for him.
Yeah, how about that? He finally gets to the World Series. He managed the Dodgers for 4 years.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the Dodgers in the World Series. But now, as a bench coach for the Blue Jays, he will now be in the World Series. I mentioned Monday Night Football last night, the Lions over the Buccaneers in the first game. Lions look really good. Jahmyr Gibbs, what a night for him. 218 scrimmage yards versus the Bucs. That's the most by a Lions player in a game since Calvin Johnson had 329 yards back in 2013. Gibbs had 20 touches on the night, 2 touchdowns. So the Lions knock off a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Nightcap Seahawks, they win in football. The baseball team did not win, but the Seahawks won 29-19. Jackson Smith and Jigba caught 8 passes for 123 yards receiving. Good for the NFL-leading 5th 100-yard receiving game of the season. So as you start looking around the playoff situation, Landrum, and I know we all had this in our preseason NFL picks, as of this moment, the Indianapolis Colts, they have a 96% chance of making the playoffs. The Patriots have the second best at 92%, then the Bills. So I don't think many people
That's
had
why you listen
the
to this
Colts.
show, folks.
That's right. Nobody had the Colts or the Patriots being the top 2 teams. So, yeah, just kind of weird when you take a look at the NFL standings and see what's going on.
Well, there's still a lot of ball left to play, but that goes perfectly with the dark horse preseason prediction of Brent Key and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets going to the college football playoff.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because as of yesterday, Kirk Herbstreit posted his top 5 in college football right now. At number 1, he's got Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. 3, Texas A&M. At number 4, Georgia Tech.
Okay.
5 is Alabama.
I like it.
So he's got Georgia Tech in his top 5. So you and Kirk Herbstreit.
Do you want any more predictions?
Y'all are in simpatico, man. Go ahead, give us some knowledge. What else are you saying?
I have got, as I look into the crystal ball, I've got a pretty clear vision about the Auburn football program.
Okay. Well, we will hold that thought.
I will.
We've got 3 hours and 53 minutes to get into that. So let's go now to Atlanta,
I'll give it to you
Georgia.
right when Paul's show starts.
Okay, that'd be good. Let's go and talk to Mike Griffith from the AJC, covers the Georgia Bulldogs for DogNation.com, covers the SEC for the AJC. Mike joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Mike, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
Yeah, boy, we got an exciting season here, don't we?
Man, it is great. What were your impressions of the Ole Miss Rebels? A lot of too much hype as they came in there and Georgia took care of business, or you think Ole Miss will kind of rebound this week against Oklahoma?
Well, I mean, you know, they are who we thought they were. I mean, they're a fantastic offensive football team. You know, Trinidad Chambliss is dynamic. They can outscore you. You know, when they're hitting on all cylinders, they were unstoppable. 5 straight drives, 5 straight touchdowns. You know, real tribute to Kirby. Gunnar Stockton with some timely plays. They were able to get Ole Miss off the field in the fourth quarter finally. I think there were, 12 straight drives in that game where somebody scored before we saw a punter with 12 and a half minutes left in the game. But not a lot of defense for Ole Miss, if we're going to be honest about it. You know, that's their Achilles heel. They're going to have to – it's going to be strength on strength when they play Oklahoma. Great offense against a great defense. And I think Ole Miss has proven they can handle a road environment. I don't think that's going to be a distraction. So we'll see who plays better that day, if Oklahoma can find enough offense or if Ole Miss can find enough defense. You know, everybody in this league has got some power, but everybody in this league also has a weakness. So it's largely up for grabs still. I you know, like I told you at the beginning of the year, I like Alabama as a playoff team, and Ty Simpson is the straw that stirs the drink. He's my SEC MVP at this point of the year.
Okay, he's your SEC MVP. Would you say that Alabama, in your eyes right now, is the best team in the SEC in college football?
Yeah, because of Ty Simpson, because I think they've got the best quarterback. I know Mendoza's a guy Georgia recruited to play quarterback. He ended up in Indiana, and, you know, he's on top of the leaderboard for the Heisman and all that. But, gosh, this is dangerous to say this after what's happened in the last 2 years. But you look at the Big Ten, and you say, okay, Ohio State, you know, their defense is phenomenal. You know, they only beat they only beat Texas by a touchdown.
Right.
And, you know, there's Texas fighting it out in overtime at Kentucky. I mean, at the end of regulation, they're tied with Kentucky. They don't even have 200 yards of total offense, and that's with Arch Manning being, you know, halfway into the year. Ohio State only beat them by a touchdown in Columbus. So I know transitive properties are dangerous, but my point is no one in the Big Ten has played Ohio State within, 17 points? But Texas plays them within a touchdown, and how good is Texas? I mean, my goodness, Florida beat Texas more convincingly than Ohio State did. And again, transitive properties are dangerous, but at this stage of the season, I think the national championship race is up for grabs. Even though we're going to look and see Ohio State and Indiana at the top of the polls, I mean, who are they beating? I give Indiana credit for beating Oregon on the road, but who's Oregon played outside that league? I don't know how good the Big Ten is this year without marquee players. And when I look at Ty Simpson, I see a guy that, has been coached extremely well by Kalen DeBoer. This is 2 years in. His development's, you can't debate it. He's an amazing player. When Jam Miller's healthy, he's a dude. He's a difference-making dude, and they've done just enough defensively, to be able to win and give, Ty Simpson enough support. So, yeah, I'm pretty high on the Crimson Tide. And yet they've got some games left they could lose if they don't play, good football.
Well, I think one thing's for sure, Mike. I think we can all agree that all in this year with a roster, a bunch of mercenaries. They've spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of money on Brian Kelly. And once again, LSU, they're on the cusp of not even making the college football playoff. What do you think about his job? Is he safe there in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, no, you're right. As it turned out, LSU hasn't gotten it done. I've been a little disappointed in losing to Vanderbilt. We know that can happen, right? We do, don't we? We know Vanderbilt can beat good teams, don't we, guys? We know that.
They beat Alabama and Auburn last year.
Well, no, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, you're right. Vanderbilt's a good football. But you're right. LSU didn't get it done against Ole Miss on the road. They lost to Vanderbilt, 2 losses. They're on the brink, and they got another big game coming up this week.
And then in Alabama in 2 weeks. Yeah.
So you wonder. So you play it forward, and you say, well, gosh, if Brian Kelly loses his job, is he there yet? I don't know. I guess it depends on who they could hire. I can only think of one coach that's I'd hire right now for sure if he'd come out of the analyst booth. And I think he told us there was only one job he regretted leaving. Gosh, could they throw enough money to get Nick Saban at LSU?
Mike, why do you come on this radio show and spout that kind of venom? Why would you do that?
It's not venom. Look, you got an unbelievable coach sitting there on Saturday's game day, and you think to yourself, if somebody spent enough money and put him in charge, do we think he could win a national title in today's landscape now that everybody's playing for players? I think he still could. I think if LSU hired Nick Saban, I absolutely believe he could deliver a national title in 2 years. Does he want to? I don't know. His wife says that he doesn't, but I'm not there for it. But I know this: he's in great health. He's a fantastic coach. It's a compliment to him that he comes up in conversations like this at his quote unquote age. I just think the guy's an amazing football mind. But when you play it forward and say who would LSU hire, if you could hire anybody with an unlimited payroll, we've seen this act before, right? That's kind of what Alabama did. I think he'd be the first guy I'd call and say, hey, is there any way? How much do you need? $20 million? Will you do it for 20? Does he come out? I don't know. But does it go that far? I don't know. If it's not Nick Saban, who is it? That's my question. And Brian Kelly, it hasn't worked out. The SEC's deep waters. He said it. You don't come in the league and out-coach anybody. You got to get some talent. You got to execute. Their quarterback hasn't had a great year. Their offense has been a disappointment. I think their defense is good, but not good enough. And we'll see what happens the second half of the year for the Bayou Bengals.
The Florida job is now open. We know that there's been some big names, Lane Kiffin being one of them, that's been tied to it. What do you think Scott Strickland or whoever's making this decision? Do you think they swing for the fence here?
Well, I think you have to. I don't know what the fence is. So you tried to get the up-and-coming guy last time with Billy Napier, and do you do that with the South Florida coach right now? That's the in-state guy that's got some juice. Or do you go for the quote-unquote name? Is Lane Kiffin really a name, though? Has he gotten it done? I don't think they got in the playoff. I think I missed that last year. Last time I checked, Billy Napier beat him last year when Lane was playing for a playoff spot. Last time I checked, he squandered a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter against Georgia. Fantastic offensive coach, incredibly entertaining, in his prime. But does he stand the test of that microscope fishbowl he'd have to live in there? Will the people in Florida, in that large media market, will they treat him the same as they do in Oxford, Mississippi? Or, you just kind of wonder, is it really a good fit, or has Lane found a home where he's made Ole Miss what they are, and they're a part of him, and he's a part of them. And, to me, I thought Kurt Signetti's decision to stay in Indiana was smart. Yeah, he could have got more money and come to the SEC, but why do that when you've got a good situation, a program that's behind you, you're winning at, and ultimate job security? So I don't know what, I don't know where Lane's ego's at. I don't know how happy he truly is. Seems to be awful happy. I don't know if he really believes he can win a championship at Ole Miss. They seem to be able to sign good players, but there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that's in play. Hey, how about Dabo Swinney? You think Dabo is a little tired of the lack of money in the ACC and the NIL funds that he doesn't have at Clemson? You think he'd like to have some money to be able to go somewhere and show he can build another championship program like he did at Clemson when he was able to win a couple national titles and really be the only foil to Nick Saban if you think about it. And he's still young enough too. So is he in play somewhere? Could he be in play? Could he return to the SEC? And what about Kalen DeBoer? Is he happy?
Oh, come on, Mike. Are you serious? Come on now.
Is there more money out there somewhere? Does a couple losses and another disappointing season make him look somewhere else?
Mike, he makes plenty of money in Tuscaloosa. He gets everything he wants.
I have never seen a happier coach at the University of Alabama.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't think anything's off the table in today's day and age. Nothing surprises me anymore. I think
How about Kirby? How about Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby.
Kirby go to Gainesville.
Kirby to the Cowboys.
Kirby went to the University of Georgia. You know that, right?
I do know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I do know that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, nothing.
He once intercepted Peyton Manning. I remember that.
Yeah, he also got run over by Jamal Lewis. I remember that too, so.
All right, Mike.
Kirby was an all-SEC guy and an all-academic guy, and he's got a business degree. I mean, he was made to coach Georgia, and the years he spent at Alabama, he picked up a lot from Nick Saban, and that really benefited him. Born in Montgomery, Alabama, he's a true Southern football guy. He's a throwback, and Georgia's really fortunate to have him for sure.
All right, Mike, can you hold for a second? Is that okay?
Sure.
I know you're a busy man, but I appreciate you taking time out of all your real estate purchases for at least a couple of minutes to join us here on the program.
We want a really hot take coming back.
Yeah, so go get ready in this commercial break. All right, Mike Griffith, the AJC, joins us here on Three Man Front. It is 10:21. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. We're live at Social Taco. You know, one Tuesday, Mike Griffith's going to have to hop over here, pay his Alabama real estate taxes, and then come over here and talk with us, have a taco or two.
Yes.
You know? Mike, does that sound like a plan? Can we get you over here like one Tuesday, and we'll buy you lunch, and you can kind of hang
I love
out?
that.
Okay.
I love coming to Alabama. Man, what a great state. I bet that weather's great today too, isn't it?
No, it's fantastic.
It's 72 right now, overcast.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, so speaking of the Florida job, I'm just curious. I mean, you've been around this conference a long time like I have, but where would you put the Florida job? Is that a top 5 SEC job in your opinion?
That's a good one. I don't know if I'd go let me go that deep. So,
Okay.
gosh, what do you think the best job in the SEC is right now? Is it Tennessee with all that money they got? Tennessee, Texas, Tennessee. Is A&M a good job? I don't know. What do you think? Georgia?
No, me personally, I think it's Georgia. I think Georgia's number 1.
Okay.
And I'm not playing to you. Landrum, who do you think?
No.
Number 1 job.
I'll go Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. A lot of in-state talent. Although Georgia Tech is starting to be a little bit more of a threat, but your talent's not divided. See, what we're getting at here is
But it seems like Kirby has Saban-like power when he was at Alabama.
Yes.
yeah, similar. I mean, why wouldn't you want to copy that model? I mean, Nick Saban won, 7 national titles doing it that way, and Alabama gave him the fire support. And the fans, I mean, there's so many other people that wanted Alabama. It's a championship program. I mean, that's the thing. And, Georgia hadn't won a title in, 41 years before Kirby did it in 2021.
Yeah.
Florida, they hadn't won an SEC championship till Spurrier got there. That's why I'm kind of like with you. I don't necessarily think this is as great a job as it may look. It's hard to win there. It's a fishbowl. There's a lot of schools in the state. Everybody recruits the state. USF now and UCF, they've got enough money to steal a couple guys from you. Miami now has a ton of money. They're throwing at people. Florida State's desperate once again. I don't know. That's why I said if you're Lane Kiffin, I think you've got a good situation at Ole Miss. Whereas at Florida, you take that job and you take that money, the expectations are immediate, intense. The scrutiny's unbelievable. I'm not sure. I think that would be a good move for Lane. But for someone like in another conference, an ACC or Big 12 coach, like I said, something like Dabo, that could be interesting.
So as we speculate on jobs that are not open, that could be open, besides what we have at Florida right now, if you had to bet, what jobs are open by season's end or before?
Well, Auburn could have won all 4 of these SEC games, and I don't know if it's a credit to Hugh Freeze that they were that close to winning or if you blame him for losing. But, he's doing what he can do. But, my goodness, I really hate to be critical of players, but, man, I've seen junior high kickers better than what Auburn's got. I mean, I feel bad for the kid. Like, that's your guy you're sending out there? And, I mean, just come on, man. You got those little things add up, and there's just a few little things that are costing Auburn right now. Offensive line, I mean, Texas is struggling with their offensive line too, but they got a top 5 defense. Auburn's got a top 20 defense. I don't know. Do you move on? I guess it kind of looks like it's a foregone conclusion to me that Auburn probably moves on from Hugh Freeze, barring, which it's possible Auburn can win the rest of their games, guys. That's a good football team. They looked as good as anybody in the first half, since somebody wants to call me out on Twitter for saying that before. In the first half, they looked as good against Georgia as anybody. In the second half, they obviously didn't. But, I think Auburn's going to be open. I do. And I think that once, people, is it possible Eli Drinkwitz gets in the Florida mix? I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see him, I don't think he's a Florida guy. Take what you want from that comment, but I just don't see it.
All right, speaking of Florida, because you're very close with Coach Spurrier, how much input does he currently have with the potential of the next hire? Does he have much of a face-to-face with Scott Strickland? Does Strickland lean on him at all in regards to who the old ball coach thinks?
I mean, I think there's conversations, but I don't think Steve Spurrier is calling the shots. I mean, he's like anybody else. He's got an opinion, and we know he's not afraid to share it. Coach Stallings at Alabama kind of has that sort of influence, I think. I think he's still somebody people talk to, and A&M certainly did. I mean, when you've got an expert like that understands the culture and knows how to evaluate coaches, I definitely think that would be a resource you'd want to tap into.
All right, Mike, what kind of deals we got going on at the beach down in Gulf Shores? What do we got?
Well, it's interesting you should ask, because today, guys, I am up to 35% off the advertised rate now for November, December. 35%.
I think I paid plus 35% above what his normal rate is.
You went in July. You went in the July seasonal rate when it was July. I mean, the rate.
Mike does exactly what the stores where my wife shops, what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, honey, it's 80% off. Well, they marked it up 80% last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Mike charged me like 35% above. I mean, you should have seen all the fees that was on my bill.
A bunch of fees?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Towel bill, garbage cleaning bill, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Seagull deposit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got to feed the birds,
Yeah.
Got to feed the birds. But, no, I mean, this is a time of year, obviously, when there's not as many people down there, and there are a lot of condos down there available. I don't think there's any that are as good as this one in terms of location, the pricing. But you take 35% off, an already lower rate than you get in the summer. It's a nice, quiet place with a lot of cool restaurants and things to do. If anybody wants to get away, they know where to find it. Just go to the Instagram, at Gulf Shores Getaway AL, and let them know. Hit the WJOX. Let me know that you heard it on WJOX, and there's an Airbnb. You can look at the Airbnb rates yourself and knock 35% off it, and 3 days stay and above, 35% off. So
all kidding aside,
today,
it was a wonderful trip, and I am already looking forward to next summer possibly getting back down there. It's a great property, all kidding aside, and it's wonderful what they've done down at Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Everything is right there. Great restaurants, as Mike mentioned, right across the street. You had access to the beach on a private walkway. It's perfect. I mean, it's great. It really is. And my family had a wonderful time, so I endorse that 100%.
Yeah, it's good times. It's good times. To me, it's good times. In Alabama. I mean, that 32 miles of coastline. It's different. I think it's better than what I've seen in the Panhandle. I don't like all that noise. I like family environment. I like how clean it is. I like well patrolled. I like all that stuff about it, and that's why I'm down there, man. It's made me proud to be an Alabama native, to have a piece of that. So hopefully some people take advantage of it, guys. I really hope that they cash in on that opportunity.
I loved it because when Pat came back from staying at your place, he was so refreshed, and he was just a happier person, Mike.
Well, Mike, you saw me in Atlanta. I had just come off of staying at your property, and you saw me in Atlanta. How nice and calm and relaxed I was, and giving Feinbaum heck every 5 seconds. It was great.
He smiled like five times the whole weekend.
But turning it back to football, let me say this, because obviously I've gotten to see some in the last couple of years, particularly over 30 years. I've been darn near everywhere. Only stadium I haven't been to that I really care to go to is out there in Washington. But I've been pretty much everywhere. I know it's been a tough season for Auburn, but I got to tell you what a great environment that was. And I know it's been a tough season, but man, those fans are amazing, and they put on a heck of a show. I thought it was every bit the environment that Alabama was against Texas the year. Of course, they lost that game a couple years ago. Nick Saban by 10 points. Cost Georgia a playoff spot. But in terms of the show they put on there at Auburn, they really did an amazing job. And I know Auburn fans don't take that for granted, but it says something when people go there and have a good experience, because you always hear about hostile, mean fans and all that. But that was not the case at Auburn. The Auburn fans really represented well, and that was a heck of an environment. So I wanted to make a point of that, because that's just not always the case.
Yeah.
So are you offering a promo code discount? Hashtag War Eagle when they try to book at Gulf Shores Getaway AL?
Hashtag Power Wash. Everything but that. But it was a great environment. Maybe they put so much effort inside the stadium they don't worry about power washing the outside. But at night games you don't really see that, so it never really came up for me. It was a night game. I didn't really take notice of it.
All right, Mike. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks. Mike Griffith joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Coming up next, got a very special event going on at Rickwood Field coming up on Sunday. Gerald Watkins is joining us here on site. We'll talk to a very special guest coming up as well, who will be in Birmingham on Sunday. That's next on Three Man Front. It is 10:35. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. Pat Smith, Landrum Roberts live at Social Taco. Always a great time when we look up, and Gerald Watkins from the Friends of Rickwood Field joins us here on site. Gerald, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
Doing great. Thank you for having me again, Pat and Landrum. It's great that you can take a break from football to let us talk a little bit about baseball.
Well, one thing's for sure. You know, with me and Landrum, you know what one of our biggest loves in life is, and that's baseball. So anytime that we can talk Rickwood and talk about a special event coming up on Sunday, and we're excited because Dwier Brown from Field of Dreams, if you remember him, he played Kevin Costner's father in the movie. He joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. He will be in Birmingham coming up on Sunday. Dwier, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to a Birmingham radio show. Hope you're well.
I'm very well, thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
Dwier, thank you again for coming on the show, and thank you for agreeing to come to Birmingham. This is it's going to be really special. We've had this home run derby now going on 4 years, and we've never done anything different other than just have people hitting. But to bring you in as an autograph signer and someone to interact with the fans and share their stories and your stories, I think it's going to be very special, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to meeting them. I've toured a lot of baseball parks around the country, and it's always amazing to me that there'll be people who come up and tell me stories about how much that movie has meant to them and changed their lives. You know, sometimes they've reunited with fathers that they've been estranged from, and it makes me emotional just hearing these stories. So I'm excited to see what Rickwood has in store for me.
Dwier, I would love to hear just a quick story about how you were contacted for the movie and just kind of the unveiling of all of that and getting to work with such an all-star cast.
Well, it was just an audition like any other. I'd been in Hollywood probably about 6 years and had a little bit of success with the Thornbirds and a few other shows, but this came down the pike, and it was called Shoeless Joe at the time, based on the book. And I'd read that book, and it's a fantastic book, and I really loved it. So I was just excited to audition for it, and I probably went up against 300 other guys, and for whatever reason I got the part. I guess I looked enough like Kevin to be his dad, and anyway, I was just very, very excited to be a part of it. I grew up on a farm in Ohio, so to go back to a farm and shoot such a beautiful movie was a thrill for me.
Dwier, I'm just curious because obviously you have traveled a lot around baseball venues. For the movie itself, did you have to do any type of special training in regards to your throwing or catching or anything like that just for the movie, or were you already well versed enough because growing up as a kid, did you play a lot of baseball?
Yeah, I grew up playing in Little League and playing in Hollywood leagues and stuff when I got out there. What's kind of funny is I got cut from my freshman high school baseball team.
Oh, wow.
And, kind of broke my heart. But what I tell all those guys who made the team was that it's my picture that's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I got my revenge. Yeah, I was kind of the youngest kid in my class, so I was, a little smaller than I probably needed to be to play. But whatever, it's sour grapes at this point. And like I said, I kind of won the major lottery. But I didn't have to do anything particular for the audition to get the part. But some of the other guys who played the other band baseball players had to do kind of an audition for Rod Dado, who was, the kind of famous coach of USC baseball. And what was kind of interesting is they wanted guys who kind of looked more like old-fashioned ball players, who kind of ran a little more stiffly and all that stuff. So most of the guys who got the parts were actually injured in some way or another, so they were kind of limping and catching the ball stiffly. But they're the guys who got the part because that's the look they wanted.
Well, Dwier, I remember our meeting in Cooperstown 4 or 5 years ago, and at that point in time, I believe I told you I was involved with Rickwood Field in Birmingham, and I've been thinking for years about trying to find a way to bring you to Birmingham for an appearance, and I'm glad this one worked out. And I do want to say that for all the folks out there listening, Dwier does throw like a baseball player. A lot of movies I've seen, the actor doesn't really look like a ball player, but Dwier fit the bill, and that always is the first thing I think about when I watch a baseball movie. Do they look like a player? And Dwier does look like a player.
Well, thank you, Gerald. That's high praise coming from you. But I guess they trusted that I knew how to play a catch. Of course, I'd done it a million times with my brother in the backyard. So, yeah, I hope I can get it across the plate.
Dwier, as you've traveled around and you've done all these events and you've met a lot of great people and how much the movie means to them, when you were actually doing the movie, did you have a scope of how big you thought that this ultimately would be, not only at the box office, but how it would transcend decades after its original, obviously, debut in the theaters back then?
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't have imagined that I'd still be talking about this movie 37 years down the road here. It was just a beautiful script, and to that, there really wasn't a lot to recommend it. It doesn't have a big love story, or there's no violence or sex or bad words or, a big mystery to solve. So the hopes, I don't think, were very high for the movie. Even Universal Studios, once it was done, sort of wanted to release it straight to video. The thing that happened was Steven Spielberg snuck into a screening of it, and he liked it so much he convinced Universal to give it a theatrical release. And anyway, it ended up, of course, playing in theaters for a long time, and spread by word of mouth. People saw it and said, "Hey, I can't tell you anything about this movie without ruining it, but you got to go see it." And so it was quite it sort of kind of made it on its own. And the other thing people don't realize that I don't often talk about is I'd already been cast in the movie, and when I was going to Iowa, I decided to stop and visit my family on their farm in Ohio. And my father died the night I arrived on my way to shoot this movie. So 36 days after I left my father's funeral, I was on a farm in Iowa, walking out of the corn as a father, a dead father, going to have catch with their son for the last time, and so it made the stakes and the whole experience of the movie much different for me. I sort of felt my father's ghost there with all the other ghost players, and I'd like to think that he made his little impression on the film as well, and it's why that movie is so special to me in so many ways. It feels like the last time I spent some time with my dad. So it was an important moment in my life, and I'm glad that it's the one that people remember me for.
That is Dwier Brown, actor from the 1989 Field of Dreams. He played John Kinsella, the father of Kevin Costner's character. And Gerald, Dwier's going to be here in Birmingham on Sunday. Just remind everybody about this tremendous event that you guys have at Rickwood Field.
Yes, our home run derby is Sunday, October 26th. The gates open at 12:30. There will be an autograph session starting about 1:15, last hour and a half. The players will then break out and go to the field. Dwier will continue signing for a little bit, and at the end, depending on weather and other factors, we hope that there'll be time for some lucky fans to go on the field and have a catch, maybe with Dwier, but if not with Dwier, some of the other celebrities are going to be at the ballpark competing in the home run derby. So I encourage everyone to come out. It is our last fundraiser of the year, and among all the things we do, this is the most interactive and fun event. It's my favorite event of the year, and it's going to be even more fun having Dwier here. As I mentioned, I met him at Cooperstown, and I was amazed at the reaction of the fans and the way Dwier interacted with them. And I'm very, very happy he's coming to Birmingham, and I can't wait for Sunday to get here.
Well, Dwier, I hope your time in Birmingham, I hope it will be memorable. Hope you enjoy your time at a very special place in our neck of the woods, and that is Rickwood Field. So many thanks for coming on the show today. And Field of Dreams is one of my, if not the number one movie that I get to watch with me and my kids, my boys. So I just appreciate everything you've done on screen, and obviously you coming and helping out a wonderful cause here at Rickwood Field.
Well, thank you so much. It's been great to be here, and I look forward to being at Rickwood and meeting some of your Alabama fans.
Sounds good.
Thanks for sharing today.
Thank you, Dwier.
Thank you, Dwier.
Yeah.
Thank you
We'll
very
be in
much.
touch.
Look forward to seeing you on Sunday. That is Dwier Brown,
care.
actor from 1989's Field of Dreams. He played John Kinsella, the father of Kevin Costner's character. Gerald, thank you for stopping by. And don't forget, coming up on Sunday, admission is $20. Go to rickwood.com for more information about the Home Run Derby coming up on Sunday. More three-man front live from Social Taco on Jocks. It is 10:49. We are quickly out of the gate on this Tuesday morning. We're live at Social Taco. Just a great interview with Gerald Watkins and Dwier Brown, who will be in town coming up on Sunday. Just a great event coming up on Sunday at Rickwood Field Home Run Derby, going from 1 until 6 o'clock. For more information, go to rickwood.com.
Well, as football season moves on, you know that means changes in the weather are coming, and you need to protect your HVAC system with a checkup from a trained comfort specialist so that when the cold weather hits, you'll have peace of mind that you're protected by America's most reliable and trusted brand. So to find out more and to find a comfort specialist near you, go to train.com. It's hard to stop a train.
And listen, we always promote our podcasts for folks to go back and listen. And whether you're a baseball fan or not, you need to download what you just heard on this radio station, because that was incredible. Because Dwier Brown's story about his father passing away as he was heading to Iowa to go film the movie, he stops in Ohio because his family lived on a farm, and his father passed away. And then he has to go to Iowa to shoot a movie about a relationship between Kevin Costner and his dead father. having to film that and be a part of that.
I will never watch that scene the same again.
No, and I did not know. And like I said, I have seen that movie more probably than any other movie that I've ever seen. I try to watch it all the time with my boys when I get an opportunity. I did not know that about it was going to go straight to video as opposed to being a theatrical release until Steven Spielberg saw the movie, and kind of the word of mouth in Hollywood kind of got it going to where it would be a nationwide release. And that is amazing with James Earl Jones and Kevin Costner being a part of that cast. And
Ray Liotta was a part of that cast.
Yeah. Burt Lancaster was part of that cast. So, I mean, it's just like, just to think that movie originally was going to go direct to video. And I know Conrad and Molly probably don't know what we're talking about, but back in the day, you'd shoot a movie and sometimes they wouldn't put it in theater. They would just put it on VHS tape.
Kind of like now, you get it straight to streaming.
The
Correct.
movies that they don't expect to be a hit, yes.
Correct. But my goodness.
We had to actually go to a brick-and-mortar store to rent one of those said videos on those cassettes.
Yep.
And DVDs for a second.
But just a great interview.
Yep.
With Dwier Brown and Gerald Watkins. So if you get an opportunity, download the Three Man Front podcast. We also had Mike Griffith on the show. Never disappoints.
No, he doesn't.
What Mike has to say about the SEC, especially about Alabama. I've been getting a lot of texts, people applauding me and you for pushing back on his statement about Kalen DeBoer.
That's
might not
absurd.
be happy at Alabama.
That's
and
absurd.
Maybe looking elsewhere.
We're going to call absurd when we see it and we hear it.
Yeah.
That was absurd.
Yeah, that's not even a thing.
No.
Not at all. We will go to Fayetteville, Arkansas coming up in just a couple of minutes. Eric G., talk show host, also the program director of 92.9 The Ticket in Fayetteville. He will join the program. Scott Hamilton as well next hour. He's the one that actually was the first person on social media that broke the story that Billy Napier.
I thought it was him, but
fired.
other people were trying to take credit for it.
Oh, imagine that. It's crazy, isn't it? Keith Niebuhr will join the show from Gators Online in the 12 o'clock hour, and Dimitri, his weekly hit with us at 1 o'clock. Meat. Is that what we're calling him now?
We're calling him Meat.
Just calling him Meat.
Well, he said that his family called him that. I had no idea.
You just kind of shot in the dark.
Yeah, it was a shot in the dark. And he said, nobody's called me Meat since I was a kid. So, yes, Meat will join us at 1 o'clock.
Oh, well, good. I'm looking forward to discussing the world of SEC football with Meat. One thing that I always like to tell you about, and that's APS, Alabama Professional Services, because for more than 4 decades, APS, or Alabama Professional Services, they've been your trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. The certified statewide teams of APS, they're experts. They're friendly, efficient, and reliable. Call them today, 205-951-9717. APS proudly serves homeowners and businesses across Alabama, including Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, and surrounding communities. Call today. Request a free, no-obligation estimate. That's 205-951-9717. Or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
We do have the however many days of continuous football. We got more tonight. You got any games that you're looking to play?
No, I was pretty heavy last night on Monday Night Football and the American League Championship Series. So I might be taking tonight off. I was victorious last night.
Okay.
I did.
That was my next question.
I took the Blue Jays on the money line, and that was huge for me, obviously, when Springer hit that home run. And I had the Seahawks last night. So it was big.
Well, we got big Conference USA games coming up tonight.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, Conference USA.
You got your Kennesaw State Owls that you love so much.
They're undefeated.
Taking on FIU at Pitbull Stadium.
Pitbull Stadium. Are they doing aren't they doing Miami Nights? Didn't they paint the field, kind of like the Miami Vice type colors and stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
And also you get Western Kentucky at Louisiana Tech in Ruston.
That's a big game.
Louisiana Tech's a 3.5-point favorite.
Western Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're 3-1 in Conference USA, and La Tech is 2-1. So this will be a very interesting game for those CUSA fans like those in Jacksonville, Alabama.
That'd be nice to have a Tuesday night game.
Wouldn't it, though?
Yeah, just play it, hopefully win, and then the rest of your week just wide open.
And I will applaud Conference USA. What they did a couple years ago, they decided to play these Tuesday and Wednesday night games because Maction was having all the fun.
Yep.
Maction doesn't start for a couple more weeks.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why do they wait for Maction to start
Because
when
they
it
wanted
gets
to get
so
as,
cold and miserable and
That's
there's
right.
nobody in the stadium.
That's what they're trying to do. They want it as cold as possible. It makes for better television. It's the only thing I can think
It's like
of.
putting a chess tournament at center field or at midfield and asking fans to come and watch. That's why there's only like 13 people there in the Glass Bowl in Toledo, Ohio on a Tuesday night.